Chapter 64-63. At this moment, Victoria was in seclusion in her own dojo. Her dojo was at the deepest part of this Antarctic island, more than 300 meters below sea level, surrounded by cold rocks. She chose to build the base of the warrior's den near such a remote Antarctic circle. On the one hand, because it was more hidden and safe, and on the other hand, because the environment here was more suitable for cultivation. In recent years, Victoria has rarely been in seclusion for a long time. Each time she was in seclusion, it was as short as a few days or as long as a few months. Unlike the three elders, the seclusion time was measured in years. The reason why Victoria did not stay in seclusion for a long time was not because she was worried that the development of the warrior's den would be out of her control. But as she grew older, it became more and more difficult for her to calm down and concentrate on cultivation. 500 years had passed in the blink of an eye, and she had not found the recipe for the evergreen pill. It seemed that there was still 100 years left. But if she really used it for cultivation, it could be said to be fleeting. The older Victoria got, the more she felt that life sometimes conformed to the so-called conservation of energy. Although the cultivators live longer, the time they spend feeling the world and truly enjoying life is not much better than that of an ordinary person who died in his 60s or 70s. It is even possible that they are not as good as them. In the past 400 years, she has spent at least 300 years in cultivation. The rest of the time was either used to find Maria or to develop the warrior's den. The time to enjoy life was almost zero. Looking back now, the best time in life was actually the time when she and her senior Warren were practicing in the Sichuan Mountains. At that time, Master Meng Changsheng did not often ask about their affairs. Most of the time, after several days of retreat, he would take half an hour to check their progress and give a few pointers. And then he would stay in retreat for several days. Therefore, during that period of time, it was almost a world for the two of them. Victoria enjoyed the feeling of being able to live in a corner with her beloved while the outside world was in chaos. It would double her happiness. In addition, the experience of cultivation also brought her great expectations and excitement, which was equivalent to adding a powerful buff to her happiness. However, that wonderful feeling completely collapsed when she stabbed Warren with her sword. Since then, life has lost happiness, and what is left is only twisted desire. Victoria, who was in retreat at this time, did not focus on cultivation, but wanted to calm herself down here and think about the next life plan. 400 years passed in the blink of an eye. She knew very well that she had entered the twilight of her life. She originally hoped to get the evergreen and continue for another 500 years. But after going to the Sichuan Mountains last time, she realized that Master Meng Changsheng did not really pass away. What she had been pursuing for hundreds of years might just be a small step in the huge chess game set up by her master. In this way, the hope of continuing for another 500 years became increasingly slim. She just didn't understand what tricks her master was playing when he hid in the Sichuan Mountains for 400 years. When she was racking her brains and couldn't figure it out, she felt someone approaching above the dojo hundreds of meters deep in her consciousness. The person was Revendor. Revendor came to the top of the dojo, where there was a heavy stone door. Entering the stone door was the first barrier to enter Victoria's dojo. Inside the stone door, there was Victoria's formation for protection. And then there was a vertical well more than 200 meters deep. At the bottom of the vertical well, there was another stone door. Behind this stone door was where Victoria practiced in seclusion. Revendor stopped in front of the first stone door above and said respectfully through the stone door, "Lord, I have something important to report to you." Victoria frowned slightly, then stood up and walked out of the dojo. The heavy stone door below was easily pushed open by the spiritual energy. And then she stood in the well. With a thought, she quickly soared into the air and arrived above the wellhead in the blink of an eye. Then, the stone door above was pushed open to both sides, and Victoria stepped out. Looking at Revendor, who was sweating coldly, she asked in a cold voice, "What happened?" Revendor calmed down and said in a heavy tone, "Lord, John called." Something happened to the death squad station in Morocco. It's all destroyed. Victoria was shocked. It was Morocco. Revendor nodded. It is indeed Morocco. I have seen the video. The station has been completely destroyed. Victoria said angrily. It must be that guy again. He didn't go to Nigeria. No. Revendor said, I asked John. The three elders have been paying attention to the situation around Nigeria these days. They have not found anyone who controls spiritual energy. I think the other party should have seen through our intentions. So they deliberately avoided Nigeria and chose Morocco.